Taylor, they had a 28-2 run in the second quarter that kind of looked like some of those runs that you've given up early in the season. And then the fourth quarter and the last couple minutes happened. Just how do you describe, Josh's first game back and it playing out at the end that way?
Yeah, just incredible resilience from the group. Obviously, an incredible run by the Pelicans in that second quarter. Credit to their defense, physicality, but I also thought we moved the ball pretty well. We were just missing wide open shots, and we weren't committed to our transition defense. They got hot from the three-point line. I think we made a little bit of a run at the end. Vince hits a three in the corner to cut it to 19. Then we came out with a great run to start the third quarter. Got to single digits. Obviously, just we bookended that third quarter with a great fourth quarter too. I thought our defensive activity, we made some adjustments in that fourth quarter, was great. And then Ja was spectacular. Tonight. Obviously how he played with pace, obviously scored at a high rate, but super proud of him stepping up to the line, knocking down 10 of 12 free throws, all the work he's been putting on his shot, and then just the playmaking, 8 assists, 6 rebounds as well. Jaren, with the force he was playing, getting 15 free throws, 6 of 10 from the field. I talked to the guys about, hey, this game's going back and forth. Both teams are trading buckets right now. We just got to be poised with our execution. They were going to Ingram quite a bit, in ISO situations, pick and rolls. We started double teaming. I thought our rotations were great. And then offensively, we said, hey, if we got a window to go, play fast, attack. But if not, we've got 3 plays that we're going to run and just get organized. And I thought we did a great job executing. And obviously, at the end of the game, the last play, trying to get the last shot, the discipline to get our spacing right, the timing right, and obviously a special player making a special play.
Taylor, how do you describe just the way Ja seemingly rises to the moment every single time you guys need it?
He relishes these moments. Obviously, he was beyond excited to get out there and be with his teammates and play basketball, the game that he loves. I thought he came out and set a tone for us, on both ends of the floor. I thought his on-ball pressure was pretty good defensively. The way he was moving the ball, we just got to get calibrated. It's going to take some time to get some chemistry and the running habits, and he plays so fast, so it challenges you to, continue to play fast with him. But I love, his poise in certain situations, pick and roll to set up his teammates, hitting rollers, finding teammates, becomes infectious. I thought Dez was doing a pretty good job too. He had 5 assists as well. So these guys just playing off each other, Jaren included. I thought it was really impressive. But in a game, I think he had a moment there where he needed to come and just get a couple minutes on the bench and come back right out. He was ready to go, powered through, came up with some big plays, obviously high-level finishes, big-time free throws down the stretch, but just super impressive. This guy lives for these moments, and he's done it in his career before.
Coach, Ja played, I think, 35 minutes tonight. For him to have that level of energy and not only have the one moment of fatigue, what does that say about his conditioning throughout this time away from the game?
His commitment, I know I've talked about that, but you can see it. I mean, what he was doing in our training spaces with our performance team, they were pushing him hard. I mean, he had some hard days. He was battling through it. He was excited for it because he knew it was going to prepare him as much as possible for getting out there. Obviously, the play groups can only do so much, but then when he gets out there and he gets competitive in between those lines, as you said, he had that moment where he's like, hey, I just need a quick breather so that I can go back out there and play to that level that he'd been doing for 34, 46 tonight. It's really impressive. This has been a 3-month-ish process with him working on his body, and he's going to continue just getting acclimated to, game speed, but that's how you want him to play. That's how you want Ja to play, is play fast and free, and the dynamic ability he's got, but, very impressive with the commitment that he and the medical and performance teams put in over the last couple of months.
And obviously a long, tough 25 games. For you guys to pull this win out the way you did with the comeback, with the finish, what kind of emotional lift is this for your group?
I think it's big. I mean, this isn't. I mean, obviously, Ja was spectacular, but I told the team this is an ultimate team win. I mean, the resiliency that we showed came in. We talked about the things that weren't working for us, but the things that we were actually doing well in the first half, just couldn't, get some shots, and just got to keep chipping away. We just got to stay committed to our transition defense. Don't let our offense kind of just, let us slip on the defensive side. Let them make the winning plays. Came out and we immediately started with, a great run in that third quarter, and I think a lot of concontributions up and down. Obviously, Ja was special. We talk about Dez and Jaren, but other guys come up with 50-50 balls, great rotations of things that always don't show up in the box score. Rely on a lot of different guys to step up tonight. Guys off the bench as well. I mean, when you got McCollum and Ingram playing the way that they do, it can be really tough. And then when we made our adjustments, I thought, the team effort defensively was phenomenal. And then obviously on offense, giving space to guys to make plays, I thought we were really disciplined there. So at the end of the day, it was a great, team win on a back-to-back, getting Ja back with all the emotions. But our guys, we just played our standard, and how they responded at halftime was really impressive.
Coach, can you talk about the last play, especially after calling a timeout, and Ja initially was seemed like, he wanted to keep going. And then, two, man, you always seem like this even-keel guy. Did you get excited? Did you do any kind of backflips or anything? Because every time I see you, you're always here.
Sure. I mean, once it was triple zeros, yeah, I definitely got excited for our team, obviously, to win in that fashion, coming back from 20 down when we had a big-time dry spell in that second quarter, to regroup after a 16-point second quarter and put up 74 against one of the best defenses, to be able to score in the paint, was really impressive. And, obviously you want to trust these guys to go. I've done it plenty of times before, but I just had this one in my back pocket that I've wanted to run for a while for Ja, and I wanted to make sure the spacing was great for him so we weren't coming up there just, fractured, not knowing where everyone was supposed to be. We wanted to make sure we did get the last shot. So great execution, getting the ball to him, getting our spacing, just give him enough space to go make a high level play, putting the right guys in the right spots, and then he makes the right reads. So kind of a gut feel. Luckily, it worked out for us tonight.
Coach, you had Jaren and Desmond take a lot of the offensive burden while Ja was out. Does that help them as they settle now to maybe more of a natural spot? How does Ja sort of help everybody settle into what their natural role should be?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely going to help us. I mean, when you get your quarterback back, obviously he's a lead playmaker for us, but super proud of how Dez and Jaren have embraced the responsibility of being lead guys for us, and we're still going to lean on them to be lead guys for us. But obviously when you get your quarterback back and the pace we want to play with and the initial attack in our offense, Ja's going to have a big role in that, but Dez is also going to have a big role as well, and how we balance our rotations with both those guys in particular. And then, Jaren, he's, taken tremendous growth at the start of the season in his attack game, getting to the free throw line, post up, had, drawn fouls just in the post, not just, before he even just makes a play in the post, to be able to step to the free throw line's big. So really proud of those guys. This just kind of gets us back, to, where guys expect to play, but we lean on these guys pretty heavily no matter what rotations we have out there. Guys are going to throw different looks at all three of those guys. They just got to be ready to be the ones that are responsible to make the right play.
Coach Jared Paul Joseph over here in New Orleans. I don't know what your expectations were for Ja tonight, but where does a game winner fall in line for you?
I mean, my one expectation was for him to have fun, honestly. I know the work that he's been putting in. His teammates know the work he's been putting in, how excited he was for this opportunity. I wanted him to go out there. I didn't want to over-call things. I just wanted them to play free and to start kind of getting a feel for each other, But the biggest thing was just going out and having fun. I thought he did a phenomenal job, as I said, just with the pace and the ball movement. Obviously, the high-level plays, finishes, and obviously 10 for 12 from the free throw line. It's infectious. He talked about it after the game that, that's the Grizzlies standard that we talk about. We can be up 24, we can be down 24, but you're just resilient for 48 minutes. You're scrapping, you're clawing. I thought the defensive activity was great. Offensive activity was phenomenal, especially in that second half. But, I just wanted him to have fun. It sure looked like he did.
Coach, as the game went along, there were definitely some kind of miscues with Ja, making some spectacular passes, but it seemed like his teammates just weren't quite ready for it. How do you think they adjusted to him and he adjusted to them as the game went along?
Oh, much better. I mean, I thought he did an unbelievable job, within those moments of just grabbing his teammate, talking to him. If it was a dump off, it was a kick out, with their heavy shift rotations. I know he had a couple ones that, got behind the teammate, maybe went out of bounds or something like that. A couple of lob passes too. So, he just was dialoguing with them the entire time. That's something that he's taken huge strides in. Obviously, how he sees the game and how he tries to put his teammates in the right spot and they can just read and feel off each other. But I also thought, when we were playing through Dez and Jaren a little bit, he was doing a good job trying to play off of them, with the appropriate spacing. But I thought he did a really good job connecting with those guys in his first game with them, just making sure they were all on the same page. And obviously we needed it down the stretch especially.
Given how cobbled together things have been for you game to game this season with lineups and the roster, how did it feel for you to be able to put Ja, Dez, and Jaren all together on the floor to close out a game?
Oh, awesome. Obviously how you start the game is not always how you're going to finish the game, but when you can bank on Ja, Dez, and Jaren being guys that you're going to lean on both offensively and defensively, it's huge. It allows us to get organized. Obviously, we've been in some close games in the fourth quarter and maybe haven't closed it out, but obviously tonight, we haven't had a game like this where it came down to the very last possession and from what I remember. So having those three guys that we're going to lean on a lot, it's awesome getting one under our belt, ready for Thursday's game at home in front of our great fans, and just got to keep building one day at a time. Great. Thanks, everybody.